Dope. What up, JayDubb ThaRuler?
What's up? What's the word, bro?
What's good, fam?
How you living?
Pretty good. So I'm just gonna jump straight into it. Like basically what I'm gonna talk about is things dealing with concert, everything like that. So it'll be kind of like just based off that. So I'm gonna break down how we kind of first came into your first show because like some people might think like I know you or something prior to this. I actually do not know you prior to this. Like
Yeah.
I know of you, but I've never met you nowhere or nothing like that. And we went into the first headliner because you're probably like the only artist that went directly into a headliner because Just Jay kind of was like, yo, this dude is holding it down and everything like that. So I want you to kind of talk about like prior to that, how did you build your fan base? Because going directly into a headliner for someone to vouch for you to be like, yo, this dude can do numbers, how how did you build that fan base so tons of people knew that?
Man, years, I guess. It's just a lot of work. I have been doing shows since about 2017, where, I mean, I've even done a couple shows with you guys, and that's just what a couple Greeley shows that I had ended up catching. But, you know, the work that I put in with just my music, and actually linking up with different artists. Like some people don't even know that I have a feature with Lil Durk. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Uh, Caskey. Like I was doing a lot of groundwork before I met you guys. Coming out of college, because that's when I kind of started. Uh, Coming out of college, I hit the Colorado Springs, and I worked a lot with Black Pegasus. So when he was doing a lot of his shows, I kind of built my fan base through that. Opening it up for a few artists and actually catching a nice buzz before I took my first tour. Actually, in 2000, what was it, 18? No, yeah, 2018 with Fetty Wap in Europe, and
That
then
makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
yeah,
I knew you had tons of buzz because when we went to that show and like I was about to actually cancel a date that I had in Colorado. I was gonna cancel the date because I had a
mhm,
show in the Springs and I was like, yo, I was telling the homie because one of the people I was gonna put on it, they couldn't do it. Some stuff happened, everything like that. And I was like, I can't take it because I had a date coming up. And I was kind of like, well, who can headline? So I hit Just Jay, and he was like, man, you know JW ThaRuler. And I was like, I've heard of him and everything like that. And but I didn't know like how big it was. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just like, I kind
yeah,
of know it. And he was like, yo, put him on as a headline. Like I'll vouch for him because usually I do the system of like people have to open up to get to the level of that. And he was like, put him on. I'm a vouch for him. And now you went into that one and you sold that one out. So I was kind of like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Like this dude is for real.
yeah.
And so how many years did you say you had been doing it prior to like when we met? You said like since college, so like probably like 4 or 5 years or so.
Yeah, since about 2014, when I started
Okay.
doing more shows. So actually, it's been a while. It's been a while. So
And then we went straight into a tour. So like for people to learn that you can get to a level of touring. After that, we went 6 months and went straight into a JW ThaRuler tour.
yeah.
So we went straight into it and we did Springs, Junction, Greeley, Fort Collins, Denver, and Broomfield. Now tell the people what that experience is like doing the different cities and expanding like that.
It's great. It's great actually for independent artists to do it like that. Those are smaller markets within my market. You know what I'm saying? So we're talking about a Colorado market. We're talking about cities that usually don't know about artists outside of the city. But hitting those, it's a lot of work. As far as like driving and making sure that all your logistic stuff is kind of in order. But the way you guys kind of made it, you guys made it a little easier than just kind of cold turkey touring. Uh, so as far as doing it, you guys have a great platform in order for independent artists to actually go to these places that they never thought they would. But I would advise a lot of the artists that are watching this is like, hey, there's still groundwork to do. You know what I'm saying? You guys are helping us get there, but there's a lot of work that we have to do as artists still, like to get people to shows and market to those different markets because even though your name is on that bill, it doesn't mean that people are gonna show up either.
Definitely, definitely. And being someone who has toured with like a national act and everything like that, you kind of know the difference of being in like, for instance, like going like taking planes to different places versus the idea of being in a smaller, like going city to city next door. So
Hmm.
I always tell people that lowers the expenses because the expenses going from plane to, what I'm saying, like, and staying in hotels
Yeah,
and stuff like that is way different than being able to go somewhere and come home.
it is. It is. And actually, during that first tour, I actually took the route where I drove to each location. Grabbed a hotel if I needed to, or took it back home. And it was a lot of drive time. I can say that for sure.
Mhm.
Definitely a lot of drive time. And especially when you're riding around with your team, and you trying to cut down on how many cars y'all take or whatever the case may be. But once you get your goals, man, and whatever you want to achieve on these types of tours, man, you just shoot for it and you go.
And now
Have
you
to.
have, of course, you have a team. Is that like, how does that work out? Because I know like when I used to first tour, it was probably like four or five of us, and then later on it became just two of us in my crew. But how is that? Because I know you have like like 10 like 10 people in your crew. Like, so
We
how
got a
is
lot of
that?
moving parts for sure. So it's kind of like it's a lot of organization type of thing, trying to get people to actually do things that they're probably not accustomed to. Because when you see my team KSTG, the bulk of us are all artists. You see what I'm saying? So trying to give people like different jobs and duties, that was probably the hardest thing when everyone really just wants to rap. So kind of trying to put people in places like, okay, man, you handle what we got going on social media. You work our advertising, you know what I'm saying? You go out, you sell some tickets, during different times of the day. Hey, I need somebody to go put up posters. Who's working the merch? It's kind of a thing where you just got to be like, yo, if we're all gonna make this happen, we all just gotta work. It gotta be a well-oiled machine. So it's kind of like delegating tasks for everybody and everybody playing their part. If someone doesn't play their part, then you already know. It's just like a regular job or anything. If you have a team member that's not pulling their weight, then that area is gonna be lacking. So it's like, what do you do then? You fix the problem, or you let the problem go.
I'm glad someone said, I'm glad someone said, because people take it, they look at me and they think I'm harsh when I say stuff like that. Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, if your team ain't working, you know what I'm saying? You got to move how you got to move. You know what I'm saying? And like, they have to
Yeah, true.
understand what that is as a cohesive. Otherwise, they're dead weight with it. And you know what I'm saying? I'm glad you're saying it too. Then we took 5 months and then we went on to tour again. And then the
We
second one,
did.
we actually you ended up going and adding Utah and Arizona. So
Yeah, big
inside
lift.
that, what was that like? Because had you ever been to Utah and Arizona to perform?
No, that was actually my first time performing out there, and man, I got both cities showed mad love when I went.
Yeah, because I was hearing
I'm
it
glad.
back. I was
Yeah,
hearing it back. Yeah.
that's what's up. That's what's up. Shout out to everybody in Utah. Shout out to everybody in Arizona. Um, but I'm glad I had prior experience. Um, actually having shows outside of my regular market, because I felt like that helped me with my stage presence. Um, Dealing with a new crowd that don't know you, it can get a little overwhelming, especially, they've heard about me, through the concert, and like, yo, we keep seeing you, we keep seeing you. And that's a lot of love that I got from a lot of the artists. But then when it came to the artists and the fans that ended up showing and all the supporters, like being able to put on a show is what kind of made them like, yo, who I really need to know who this guy is. And I had a lot of people follow me over the course of just those two cities alone. And it was like, yo, like we want more of this out here. Like, how can we get that here? And I'm like, hey man, just book me, I'll bring it. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. That's what's up. Because I was getting hit, and people was like, "Man, this dude JayDubb ThaRuler is the truth." Because you know what I'm saying. Like I'm telling them, like, because you're the first person to actually go to the outside the states. You know what I'm saying? Outside of Colorado. So you're the first in the app to actually do that. So then when I'm hyping and I'm saying, like, when I'm out there and I'm saying shit like, oh, well, you know, JayDubb ThaRuler out in Colorado is this dude, you know what I'm saying? So then when they finally put two and two together, it was kind of like, oh, he was telling the truth, you know what I'm saying? Because I always tell people,
Yeah,
because people make it weird in Colorado when they kind of like separate the artists and they say like there's the artist who, you know, like can bring numbers, and then there's the artist that's super talented or whatever, and they try to separate that. And I'm like, no, I'm like, the cream will always rise to the top, and they'll always be, you know, the ones that can do numbers and talented at the same time, and that will end up being the leader because they'll understand both sides of the game. You know what I'm saying? So then when I
yeah,
sent you, it's kind of like they was like, oh, so he really is like that dude. You know what I'm saying? So that was good. Now, the one thing I want to talk to people about is you're heavy with your brand, and a lot of artists don't do that. You have a with the seven hats and the seven brand and everything like that. Can you tell people
mhm.
like how that helps you with branding yourself, and also how that may help you like financially with merch on tour and stuff?
Sorry, I got a little glitch. Yeah, actually, it helps a lot. Branding is big, and a lot of things I think a lot of artists get confused is branding and merchandise, right? Um, they do coincide, but at the same time, so like the seven is actually almost like a separate entity from whatever JW the ruler is, and a lot of people will probably throw their name on a shirt or whatever, and I think that's a good thing to bring up is that's merchandise. You know what I'm saying? That's merch that you can get off. Oh yeah, JW the ruler came here. We're gonna get back to a tour. Don't forget the bag tour. This is merch for just this time alone, as opposed to this right here, the seven, being something that a lot of people are wearing. A lot of people like. If you go to the Colorado Springs, you might see this before you see JW the ruler. You know what I'm saying? And that's branding. But the thing is, when people say, "Oh, where's that at?" They have to bring me up. Because,
Yes.
oh, well, I got it off this artist's site, JayDubb ThaRuler, and you check it out, like, this is big out here, you know what I'm saying? And it's grown a lot. I mean, even with Reggie Jackson wearing it, you know what I'm saying? Reggie Jackson wore it during the, when they won the championship last year, and he's been wearing it throughout the playoffs of this year. Like, that's something that I had gifted to him, and he took it upon himself to be like, yo, no, this is a staple of my outfits. You know, he just wore it when they played the Timberwolves, you know, things like that. I got West Side Boogie in it when I worked with West Side Boogie. You know, he's wearing the hat. You know, I done did some pop up shops like Neo got my hats. You know, Future's brother has my hats. Like I've done what I needed to do to try and branch out. I got every DJ in Denver, almost every DJ. I won't say every DJ. I have almost every DJ that you may hear about, you know, publicly. They all have something seven. DJ K-Tone, DJ Armu, DJ Macadeli, DJ Squizzy Taylor. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my due diligence to make sure that this is there. So even if, you know what I'm saying, people love this. And this branding can carry you further when your artistry isn't working for you. You see what I'm
Definitely.
saying? Maybe you're working on an album and it's taking you a couple years to make that album. But this right here, if people love this, they're gonna keep buying it.
Definitely. I would tell artists all the time, like when you separate, because yeah, you can have like I'd have the top flight stuff for people who want the top flight, but you also build a brand that's separate from you that people can like love and like promote on top of that. That can be just dope in general with your outfit. Like you ain't got to always wear a nigga name, you know, across anything, you know.
Right.
So I would always tell people like I used to have these like no love shirts and stuff like that. And I would sell out of these no love outfits. You know what I'm saying? But it was like it was a song of mine, but it held its own situation. You know what I'm saying? That people just wanted to know love no matter what it was. It didn't have to be hip hop or anything like that. Anyone could wear it because they all understood the idea of it. You know what I'm saying? So I like
Yeah.
that seven because the other thing crazy about that is like I've always heard people try to promote Colorado Springs, but this is the first time I've ever seen it work. You know what I'm saying? Like when people say I'm actually from Colorado Springs, because I remember it was a couple groups way back when I first started, and they had some things that would be Colorado's like idea of like Colorado Springs, and then it just wouldn't go because it's Colorado Springs. But then a lot of people don't know what Colorado Springs is really like. You know what I'm saying? People just have an idea, and then they don't know that it has like the culture it does have inside of it. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
love to see that seven because I even when we did the song together, I even said seven all the time in my song a couple times the last few times. So that's what's up.
Yeah.
So another thing I want to talk about is I'd probably say it's maybe two or three artists in Colorado Springs that have actually headlined the three, I guess you kind of say main staples in Colorado Springs because you've done
Mm-hmm.
Oscar Blues, Sunshine, and Black Sheep. And
Actually,
on top of that, you've also headlined in another city. Now, this is a rare thing for artists to actually go from city to city and then headline in multiple cities, at the same level.
yeah.
So, what how do you say um to be an artist like that, staying in front of consumers, what would you tell artists to stay in front of consumers in other areas? Because it's kind of like when someone's dope in their city, it's kind of easy to be around these consumers consistently because
Yeah.
that's where you live, but
Right.
being around consumers in another city at the same rate, that's something a lot of artists don't understand
Mm-hmm.
to create that fan base in the other city. So how would you say what would be the best route for an artist to do that, to be able to pull that off?
Well, so of course, the thing is, like you said, it is easy when you're at home and all you have to do is go to the next event that's going on. Like, oh yeah, I popped out. Hey, how everybody doing? But when you're with these other cities and you're trying to get that same type of traction, being heavy on your social media is going to be one. You need to be heavy posting a lot because media is very saturated. So, just posting and making sure that you're active is going to help people know that you're still got stuff and you're still moving, you're still dropping. But then actually conversing with some of these people, conversating with these people from other cities, like when they're commenting on your stuff, comment back. You know, try and get them try to keep them involved, like you're there. You see what I'm saying? And I would also, suggest if you can. I know this isn't in everybody's cards, but if you can take a couple trips out there, just because, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm in your city. Da, 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 what's going on? People gonna be like, oh, what? Especially if they're really trying to connect with you. Hey, bro, come to the studio. Hey, bro, hey, we have an event going on. Like it happens. Like you just have to be tapped in with somebody over there and show how active you can be. Because if you're not active, then people will surely just forget about
Definitely. Definitely. Now, another thing I want to point out is artists did because a lot of artists just and we've talked about this kind of like this whole time, is a lot of artists just see it as make music, and they don't see the work side of it. Now,
it.
coming from somebody like I always tell artists, if the problem is making the music, you have more of a problem. Like the making the
Right,
music is like the cherry on top, is the fun. And
right.
then the other side of it has to exist. And this is probably for someone like you that makes music very quick and can, what I'm saying, make great music all the time. You probably see the work as more of your day than it is on the music.
Mm-hmm.
So do you how do you separate those two sides? Do you have like a blueprint to how much time you spend making music versus how much you spend on the other side of promotion and like building up for a show and everything? Like how do you split that?
Honestly, what I think so. What was in my advantage was that I had been recording since about 2013, 2012. I've been recording since 2012, and I have a lot of material since then. I didn't actually release my first project until 2018. So you got to think 6 years worth of material to play around with, plus keep creating. It kind of got to where the music part was like, okay, let's just hit the studio when you got the time. So like, I won't say that I'm in the studio every day. I can say I'm in the studio at least once every week, right? And that's locked in. I'm not talking about going to the studio. I'm not doing it. I'm going to the studio, I'm working in for 6 to 8 hours on that one day, cranking out material. But when it comes to marketing, I treat it almost like 24/7. You know what I'm saying? Any chance that I can or get, drop a post, whatever it needs to be, market is it's just almost like breathing. You know, when it comes to this music, marketing is what actually is going to catapult you to different stages, to different rooms and things like that. Because if people don't know you, I mean, your music means nothing. But marketing, you can market whenever, and they've given us every tool we need. Man, you got a cell phone, you got apps that work. Hey, you have an opportunity to market yourself. And with outside of that, I mean, when you're at events, like I said, like these help me market myself. I wear this, and they're like, "Hey, bro, I've seen this hat around town." Marketing shouldn't stop at no point in time. Like I'm always gonna have a seven on me. Whether it be my t-shirts, my hats, whatever the case may be. So marketing never stops. And then when it comes to the music, make sure you keeping your art going. You know what I'm saying? You can't get stagnant on your art. What happens when you run into somebody that wants to give you a deal and I haven't been to the studio in 5 months. I haven't been to the well, we need you to come in here and crank some stuff out, and then you have writer's block. You got to keep that stuff going. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's a little bit, even if it's not going to the studio, make sure you pick up that pen and pad, whatever you need to do to get some of your ideas out, man. The best way to keep that going is to man just to live life. Don't get caught up in this music. I need to be there. I need to do this. Man, live life, and that's how the music's gonna be easier. If you don't live in the moment, then you'll never have nothing to talk about.
The realest, that's a real statement. I've told artists a lot of that because one of the younger artists that is actually in Qoncert, very dope, very dope, like I guess you can say like how he says what he says, but I always tell him he can't really expand with topics because he doesn't live enough life, so he
Mhm.
stays in this like comfort zone and he can't really talk about anything else. I tell him all the time, I say, hey, you got to be outside. Like if you're rapping like that, like you got to be outside. I
Yeah.
heard a verse from you the other day. I was listening, and you said that it was just. I just want to tell you this. You said he got a death wish, and I'm gonna grant it. I was like, I heard that. I was like, okay, okay, and
But you know, all that comes from different things too. You know what I'm saying? When people coming at you differently on the internet, I mean, if you're doing something right, you're gonna see all types of things. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I know is I can get all my thoughts, I should say, out on paper, even when I'm angry. You know what I'm saying? I have angrier lyrics than that. You know what I'm saying? Whether I put it out or not is up to my discretion because you know we're still trying to run a business here. Music is a
mhm.
business. It is all pleasure and fun and games. We know what happens when you go down those roads.
And because I see you online, I see you online. Like, so I know because you kind of face similar things that I would say like we did a lot of times. Like a lot of I guess you could kind of say like the people who think they're gatekeepers, they kind of don't give the love that they should be giving to you at this point. So then I understand where a lot of it comes from because it's kind of like these dudes talk about rappers that don't go nowhere. Don't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And like I used to sit here and be like, yo, I'm going state to state and I'm doing these numbers here and here, and nobody's saying anything. Like, and they just talking about their homies, like, yo, you know him. And it's like, yo, like this is crazy,
And
So
we hear that a lot from a lot of the blogs, you know.
mhm.
And to any artist that's actually watching this or that need to hear this, like, hey man, that media stuff, let them do what they're doing. They're doing exactly what they need to do. They're here to stir up the pot. They're part of the media. That's what their job is. You're supposed to focus on you. And you get mentioned, whether it be for the better or for the worse. Are you working? Are you making sure that are you gonna be can you back up, oh, I'm the top? Or can you back up, oh, I should be on the top? Don't get caught up in what they got going on. Oh, you seen it. Hey, We see it all. You get tagged. Oh, I seen it. I seen it. Oh, I seen that I didn't get mentioned. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But at that same time, like, don't think these are all people's opinions. At the end of the day, everyone, it's just an opinion. They're not going
I
off of, like you just said, stats. They're not going off stats. They're not going off of accolades. You know what I'm saying? They're going off of, oh, who's most. I don't want to say it's most popular, but who's been popping out? Who have we seen? What have we seen? How many times have we seen it? Which goes back to marketing. You have every tool, like, hey, you want to get on my high minute? Hey, man, you see that they do promo packages, 40, $60. Man, get on there. Don't think it's corny. It's marketing. You get on there, you put your stuff on there, Smoke in the City, put it on there. You know what I'm saying? Concert at man, talk to the concert at guys, man. They got their own promo packages as well. Get on there, boom. This is how you get different I want to say fan bases or different at least eyes from different people. You know what I'm saying? Every media platform has its own different stream of people that are watching. And some of them they might share the same people. You know, they want to be tapped into everything. But you put it on there, you put it on that blog site, you put it on there. Somebody seen you that hasn't seen you before, and that's what you should be worried about. Now, at the end of the day, if you feel that you fired, take it there, and you fired. You know what I'm saying? But if you have any self doubts about yourself, then come on, keep working. It's all practice makes perfect. So that's
definitely.
that's what I say. Don't get tied into all that blog stuff. If you working, you working. It's gonna speak for itself.
Yeah. I used to be a little petty back in my day. They used to put, like they make a list and like either a blog or something, they say who these top rappers are. And like back in the day, like blogs used to be able to get people shows. So then when like the city would be like, yo, he's the best, or da 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 da, or if they did that, they would get a show at like a lot of times the bookers would book them for a show. So then I would book the venue like a couple weeks after or something. And then
Oh,
I
okay.
would go and then do crazy amount of numbers better than them. And then it would like it's messed up. But then the thing is, if I do crazy amount of numbers, then who you gonna book the next time? You see what I'm saying? And then it shows the truth because everybody can be saying this kid is this, but then if I'm doing these numbers, then it's clearly a lie. So I would do that all the time. And that's how I kind of started making myself propel because I was just kind of like, yo, well, every time you put one of these dudes here, I'm going to show what I do. You know what I'm saying? Or if even if they did good, like for instance, like there was points where I was doing like the Gothic Theater 4 to 5 times a year just to prove how many times I could do it comparative. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So then I just wanted
yeah,
to show like there's a difference between actually like internet fans and actually having fans. And like you clearly are one of those dudes that has that situation where you actually have people that say JayDubb ThaRuler and come out. And I always tell people that's the only truth of having fans is that they really will put a dollar behind saying, I need to see this kid.
yeah.
So
That's
one other
true.
thing I wanted to talk about, because you've been able to land a couple sponsors and stuff like that. And we always talk about that to the artists, like getting sponsors is one of those things that can help you get over the hump or whatever like that. What do you say about that? Like just going and getting sponsors?
Man, it's very helpful. And it's good for making business relationships with different companies as well. Like I said, a lot of time artists just, oh, I rap good, I do this, but you gotta get back to that. Music is a business. Same thing like with sports. Sports is a business, even though it's something we love to do growing up. Once you get to that professional level, it's a business. Like that's not practice for them. Like that's hey, they going into work. So you got to look at it like that for you as far as music as well. You got to go into work, especially and with these sponsors, they help out a lot with. They might help you with cost of traveling costs, help you out with merchandise costs, things that you really could use a bigger budget for, and and not have to worry about. You know what I'm saying? In exchange for uh, marketing for them. Rather they come grab a table at your show and they get to sell their own merchandise or get to market their services. If they feel like this is something that actually benefits them. So I would say sponsorships are always good. I mean, the best way to find sponsorship is just talking to the people in your everyday life. It could be, oh, you like I had a sponsorship come in from uh buying vans, you know what I'm saying? So I go and I talk to, some of the people that work at some of these different dealerships. And I'm like, oh yeah, so but tie it in like, oh well, I have a van a company where, a lot of people are looking for vans. I send them over to you in exchange. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay, yeah, that's gonna work. Boom, okay. I've had a couple dispensaries, you know what I'm saying? Um, where I'm able to kind of team up with some of the block sites back in Colorado Springs, Smoking the City, where it kind of coincides for me to give them publicity because at the same time, dispensaries can't necessarily market, you know, they just kind of have to do their thing, but I can do whatever I can for them. You know what I'm saying? Oh, if I say, hey, come meet me down at the dispensary down off of Eladi, hey, people are gonna pop out because people didn't know that Eladi had the deals. You know what I'm saying? But I'll let you know that. But sponsorships very key, and don't just think of it as money or free stuff. Look at it as a great way to expand either your brand or you. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be the best thing to do because once you have good business relationships, they tend to grow. Oh, such as JayDubb gave me such and such business. I think you guys will be this. You guys will be able to utilize him in one of your campaigns, one of your marketing campaigns. This is how that works. It's all word of mouth. You know what I'm saying? So if if you're thinking about doing tours or shows, headline shows, please look out to people around you. It's usually your friends with businesses. Sometimes they have the contacts to the marketing people that you need to be in contact with. It can be a lot easier than just trying to cold turkey find some people to sponsor you.
Definitely. Thank you for your time today, JayDubb ThaRuler. And if you can tell them any place they need to find you, that'd be great. Yeah, any website, anything, and then what's next? Let them know.
For sure. So y'all can find me at JayDubb ThaRuler. That's at JayDubbThaRuler, and that's on all platforms. If you need some merch, I got my website dropping. It's the 7 code. That's THE, the number 7, EVEN.co. That's going to be the website as well. Um, yeah, so as far as anything I got next, I've been building my page on Facebook. I promised as soon as I hit 1,500 followers on there that I'll be dropping another single. It's gonna be a big single. I'm not gonna quite give you guys that yet because it's got a feature on it, but definitely dope. Um, also, I think I might be sneaking in a little sneak peek at a Bluebird at the Bluebird with
Yes, sir.
some
Yes,
some big professionals. You know
yes,
what I'm
sir.
saying? So you don't want to miss that.
Yes, sir. Already. So thank you once again, brother. Thank you for spending time. I'll be at you ASAP, and we'll constantly be making situations happen. That's what this is all about. All right.
All right.
For
Yep.
sure. Thank you, brother.
Like
Yes, sir.